We're spending the day with Southend United's Gus Scott-Morris to see what a day in the life of a National League player is really like. As you can see, he always starts his morning off with a Costa, this time before heading to the training ground for a team meeting and some darts. Today was a bit of a different day for Gus and the rest of the players, as instead of training at the training ground, they hosted an open training session for all the player sponsors and the Junior Blues at Roots Hall. Training began at about 10:15, and by no means was it a light training session. The players have had a busy schedule, playing 9 games a month before and having 7 games to play this month. Despite this, the players certainly didn't take it easy today as they worked towards their next game, which could see them confirm their place in the playoffs. The team's training went on for an hour and a half, so sit back and enjoy some of the shots that I captured. As the session went on, the players certainly picked up the intensity, and it was good to see Gus in action. They also did some running towards the training session, and it was clear to see there was just as much focus on fitness than there was on tactics and technique. As you can see, Gus was then back on the ball. However, it was then time for Gus to sit out as he's been managing a hip injury. And then, after a visit to the physio, it was then back to the changing rooms.
First training session back. How did it feel?
Good, man. Sunshine.
However, his day at Roots Hall didn't end there, as there were hundreds of fans waiting outside for a meet and greet with him and the rest of the players. There was lots of memorabilia to be signed. And of course, lots of photos to be taken. And he had lots of questions about his day in the life videos that he's been posting on his social media. He's become quite the celebrity. And after about 40 minutes of meeting and greeting the fans, this still wasn't the end of his day, as we headed back to the training ground for me to ask him a few questions about his career in non-league football. So first of all, tell me a little bit about your journey into non-league football, as despite not playing in the Football League, Southend are a full-time professional side.
Well, yeah, my non-league journey is kind of started from the base and started at college football and picked up and went from Royston Town through to Hemel, so I've played pretty much every level in the non-league period, and then found myself at Southend, which is many steps above where I was at before in professionalism and the club stature and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been a good journey.
What would you say are the main differences between playing for a semi-professional side versus a professional side?
Obviously the level of professionalism, but also just the workload and the amount of training that you do compared to semi-professional is crazy, and just you get paid to look after yourself more as well, which the standards and how you can improve is dramatic.
What do you think is the best part about playing non-league football?
I think it's obviously less serious, there's less pressure. I think that's probably one side of it. It's in that side of it, but obviously joining Southend, I don't really class them as a non-league club, so having that that kind of contrast of being with Royston and Hemel and then jumping to Southend, you could tell everyone takes their football a lot more serious.
Speaking of training, how hard has it been to manage both training and recovery? Because given you had 9 games in March and you're playing around that this month, it must have been really difficult to manage.
Yeah, no, it's very much a difficult task. I never complain from my job, but it's one of them ones where you want to be training, but the levels that you have to get to on a match day, you can't really do too much in a training session. So recovery is key at this stage of the season and making sure you're ready for Saturday and Tuesdays.
Today's open training session gives the fans the opportunity to meet you guys and get some things signed. How important is it to have such a good relationship with the fans?
Yeah, for sure. They're the heartbeat of the club and they're everything, and it's nice to them to have a little look at what we do day to day as well, because sometimes you only get to see them on a Saturday and you don't even get to say hello to them really. They're only there to cheer and we don't really get to have that one-on-one connection. So it's great to have that and see some familiar faces as well.
And finally, you have the opportunity to officially cement your place in the playoffs at the weekend. How much will it mean to you to do that for a second year running?
Yeah, no, it's the aim that we started with, and that's what we want to try and do and try and achieve. So fingers crossed we can get that sorted this weekend.
Perfect, thank you.
No worries.
Easy peasy, let's go.
Then finally, at about 1:30, Gus was able to start his 2-hour journey back home.